There. Thank you for taking the time to listen to what I um, have to say. I had an experience. It's usually about experiences, right? Life is that way. And I was with um, a friend of mine, and he was talking about some of the gurus that are out there talking about indebtedness is not good. And for the most part, that is true. I would agree with that for the most part. Um, but I had to really think about from a stoic, a thoughtful, um, even a biblical, or even any of the great saints talking about that. But the story that comes to mind about indebtedness is this might sound odd, but it's about the story of the talents, where and I'll ad lib here, but the king gives, or the master, however you want to say it, gives three of his servants. One, he gives 1 talent, 2 talents, 5 talents, and he takes a trip. And when he comes back, um, two of them actually made that money grow, and one of them stuck it in the ground, or so the story goes, to make sure that it would be there when his master came back. And as the story goes, the way I understand it is that the master said, you know, give more to this person that grew my 5, and give more to the person who grew the 2. And please excuse me if I don't have all the details exact, but he took away the talent from the guy that didn't actually invest it and make it grow. And uh, so my friend was saying that that's why this particular guru um, doesn't believe in any kind of debt. Uh, and I would agree that debt isn't great, depending on what type it is and what kind it is, and if it's in your control or someone else's control. Um, so I guess the question I ask, that this is developed in my mind, is, can we escape indebtedness? And the observations that I make is that there is indebtedness to cars, homes, education, weddings, whatever, all kinds of things that you can go into debt over. Um, and what I had come to was that the indebtedness is always constant, because we either pay interest to someone else, or we give it up and let it go by paying cash for things. What I mean by that is that the what that potential money that we had, and we gave it away to pay cash for something, um, we will never have that money to work in our life again. You don't have the debt, but you don't have the money either, and it's gone. And so I guess I want to walk this line where certain debt is not good. Certainly, credit card debt is difficult. High interest rates. If you have a tool that has a much lower interest rate, if you will, and you wanted to make an investment, maybe you want to make an investment with a new roof on your house. Maybe you want to make an investment into a real estate deal, whatever it is. The real estate deal, let's start with that. So let's say, for instance, you're ready to make an investment into a real estate deal. It's probably going to take you, let's say, 18 months to see the money come back, the profit. And so you have the money in the bank. Say it's in your checking account, and you are thinking, should I just make the investment, not put it into a whole life policy or not? And the conclusion that I come to is that what you should do is take that, let's just say it's 20,000. You take the 20,000, you put it into your policy, and all of it goes, you direct it because you're in control. You direct it to the PUA only. It just goes all into the PUA. So what does that do for you? Well, it immediately raises the cash value available. It buys additional death benefit, and depending on your age, it could buy $40,000 worth of more death benefit. It also pumps up your cash value in the sense that it's growing at that higher number. And if you're with a and this is another subject, but if you're with a non-direct or a direct insurance company, if you're with a non-direct, your dividend is not affected at all. I mean, if you're with a direct, it is affected by the amount that you've borrowed from the insurance company, but it could have a higher dividend. So therefore, it all washes out between the direct and non-direct. That's a whole different subject. But and there's lots of different ways that people think about that. So you put all the money into the policy, and it grows by, let's just say, $40,000 in death benefit, and it grows by $20,000 in cash value. You turn around and you take that $20,000 as a loan and you send it to that investment. And you know that in 18 months, that money is going to come back with profit. You're going to pay some taxes on it, but you're also going to take that money and you're going to put it back into your policy to close out that, I'll call it a line of credit that you took out on, and you're re-upping your line of credit. It's also the same exact thing that you would do if you had taken it out of your checking or savings account at a commercial bank. You would be putting it back in for the next thing that you wanted to do. So it's almost, you're already doing it. But if you put it inside of a policy, it gets you that paid up addition, which is fully paid up, meaning you'll never ever put more money toward that. It is part of the policy now. So I just wanted to pop this in here. The subject at hand, in regards to putting the 20,000 into the paid up addition, and it all goes to increase your cash value and bumps up your death benefit, as the example that I gave, potentially by twice as much, just depending on your age, health, and all that, when you do that, and how the policy was designed. And the other thing that I left out that I want to pop in here is that, so just say, for instance, you've taken out this $20,000 loan and you die before you get to pay that 18-month investment that you made. That $20,000 loan automatically gets paid off. And eventually you're going to get back that other 20,000 investment that you made, or your beneficiary is, meaning, whoever you left it to in your estate. But also, because you made that $20,000 push into the PUA, the death benefit, as I mentioned, jumped by approximately, let's just say it's jumped by $40,000. So when you pass prematurely, before, just as the example I'm using, the you die before that 18-month period for the investment. And what they're going to do is they're going to take that $20,000 out of the death benefit, and then you have also increased the death benefit by the 40,000. So you take out that 20, you've bumped it up by $20,000. I just wanted to share that thought process, that you've actually left your beneficiaries in at least as well as you had prior to taking the loan. And it's better off than paying cash, because that cash obviously would have come back to you with some growth, but inside the policy, it actually, you get both. You're going to get back the investment. I mean, your beneficiary is the person that's in charge of your estate, whoever all that goes to, is going to make sure that that happens, the trustee. So anyway, I just wanted to plug that in. All right. Thank you. And when you pay back the loan, your line of credit goes back up, the cash value, the death benefit goes up, your estate goes up. And none of that happens if you pay cash. You don't have that cash any longer, can't do anything with it. So yes, you went into debt, but you went into debt with a controlled product that you own. Now, granted, there is some accruing interest there, and on that annual anniversary of your policy, they're going to send you a letter. The insurance company is going to send a letter and say, pay this, or it's going to roll into that loan. So I encourage everyone to pay that off. So it's in simple interest. Now, I'm going to just kind of go off on another direction here quickly, because I think it is so vitally important. The difference between this kind of a loan and a loan with your commercial bank, just say, for instance, you decided that in that 18 months while you were waiting for your profits to come back, you decided that you were going to start sending, I don't know, whatever it is. Let's say you're going to send $1,000 a month back to the insurance company. All that money that you send before your anniversary goes directly to the principal. So if you're worried about the interest that you're paying, that number is actually coming down, meaning that, just say it was at 5%, but you keep lowering the principal. And so therefore, the actual charge of interest that you over the life of that loan, 18 months, are actually paying a little bit less than 5%. That's a whole other subject as well. But if you're interested in talking about it, please get a hold of me, and we'll talk about it. And anyway, so you have kept the cash in your family. You have grown your policy. You have paid back the loan and the interest, which you're paying into a company that you own. This kind of indebtedness, if you will, to the insurance company, to a company that you own, I would say that's good stewardship, in the sense that you have total control and you've kept that money in your family for future use. So you pay it back in 18 months, and then just say in 24 months, another 6 months, something else comes up and you want to make an investment. That's been growing that whole time. So it's an open conversation about indebtedness, right? Is it biblical, or is it not, that our Creator didn't want us to have any debt? I think it's inescapable, because either you're giving away profits by paying cash, or you're going into debt by taking loans from somebody outside of your own banking system. And so there is something I'm reading here again. I'm a reader, and I'm reading it for the second time, but I haven't read it since, what is it? Let's just see. It's the title of it, and some of you may know. The title of it is The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck, Dr. Scott Peck. It was on the New York Times bestseller list for, I think it was years, back in the late 70s. And that's when I read it. And so I started to read it just the other day, and there was a topic that I came across. It's called transference within the psychiatry world. And it's about the models, the maps that we acquire over our lifetime. We have maps during our childhood, maps during our adolescence. It's our perception of the world. And the way to change them is to look at them head on and take your time to figure out how something is really working. And so I would implore you to really take a good look at all aspects of whole life dividend paying life insurance with a mutual life insurance company or fraternal. And seriously consider what you're doing. You're already saving. You've already got money either in a checking account or a savings account, and you're already doing these things. But if you do it inside of a policy, the growth over time, meaning, well, even for us, my wife and I, 5 years, her policy's been in force, and it's already kind of kooky what it's the growth that's inside of it. In that it's the money that we send to the insurance company is growing. The cash value that's available to us is growing bigger each year. And it's only, and by the time when I look at the projected illustration, I can see that there's a good possibility that, we send the money and it will double and triple. The longer we live, it gets to triple. We started a little late, but at least we started. So this is an old tool, whole life dividend paying life insurance. It's survived so many things. Anyway, I won't get off on all that. The thing I want to leave you with is to keep an open mind. And when somebody starts talking about whole life dividend paying life insurance with a mutual life insurance company, dig into it. Take a really good look at it. It's something that's been around for a couple hundred years. Why is that? It's because people are still buying it. And lots of people that are there's lots of agents like myself with the NNI and some other groups that are talking about this. And it would be well worth your time to take a serious look. You can go to my website at Blue Sky Financial Flow. You'll see a podcast that I'm doing with a fellow practitioner. And then these email campaigns that I send out. This is an area of vital importance, is your financial world. And it's very simple to set up. And you can, in short order, see some very positive things come from it. So anyway, sorry to go on and on. I just can't say enough about this. I wish everyone well, and I wish everyone would reach out to me and just talk about it. There's absolutely no pressure. I told this to a young man this morning that was very interested, wanted to know more, and I say certain things, and I can sense that I sound like a salesperson. And I said, there is absolutely no pressure here. The reason for that is I don't want you to start this unless you really understand what we're doing and what you're doing, because this is a lifelong product, unlike anything else other than maybe the decision you the partner that you decide to live with for the rest of your life. So anyway, there's absolutely no pressure. So please do reach out to me. And thank you very much.